The fact that she is serving up a typical meal you see an overweight American eat is why I want her. Hi and welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven with my 2026 anime figure pre-orders and wish list. I guess that this is a topic that pretty much every anime figure YouTuber makes at the start of every year. So this is like an obligatory video sharing what I might be getting and reviewing for the rest of the year. Of course, it is not a guarantee because there are too many figures over here and there is no way I can afford everything. Though you can already predict what is coming, this is a Nikke addict we are talking about over here, but I will also share that which one I will get very soon and which one I might skip because it is not that attractive to me, or at least wait until the bargain bin, something like that, right? And then we have a few FGO stuff. 2026 is surprisingly a good year for FGO. Of course, not as many figures as Azur Lane or Nikke, but still a good list of attractive stuff, right? And then there is the usual Azur Lane, Blue Archive. Yes. Game characters everywhere. Where are the anime and manga characters? They are all kinda dead. You see, anime characters nowadays, they are not very memorable. They are very forgettable. Of course, there are rare exceptions like Likoi's Recall, Takina and Chisato. They are doing very well with many new figures. And then there is Marin Kitagawa and so on. With the rare exception of a few popular characters, anime characters are kind of dead. Which brings us to the topic of why are we calling these figures anime figures? Somebody did mention in a comment in my video, a different video, saying that you should be calling these game figures, not anime figures. So here's the thing you need to know about content creators in general. Does not matter if you are a photographer, you are a TikToker or a YouTuber, both long or short form content. The words we use in our video title and descriptions are very important because there is SEO to think about, search engine optimization. So if you use the wrong words, people will not be able to find your video when they search for it. Simple as that. So when somebody looks for a figure online, be it Google search or in YouTube, nobody is searching for the term game figures. Everyone search for the phrase anime figures. So that is why sometimes the titles I use for my videos, they are not 100% accurate in describing what I will be reviewing or talking about. Same thing with my Stellar Blade Eve statue, apostrophe statue. That is more of a doll, right? You know what kind of doll is. But I did not want to use the word doll because I think that video is more relevant to people who collect action figures and to some extent fixed pose stuff as well. It is not as relevant to people who collect Barbie dolls or orchid dolls or even, I'm not sure about BJDs or Dollfies, but I mean, imagine using the phrase Eve doll or Stellar Blade doll and then YouTube's dumbass algorithm serves the video to people who are irrelevant. Yeah, those are the kind of things you need to think about when you type a title and description for a video. So I hope that explains, right? So without further ado, let's move on to the first section over here, Nikke. I just want to get things over with. And we shall begin with the 1x4 scales, the obvious one, right? This Red Hood figure over here, I've spoken about her like 69 times already. I have purchased one, right? I did not pre-order it, but I purchased one near release, which was last month. I placed an order about a week or 2 weeks ago, full amount paid upfront, and she is expected to ship in January. Just that I don't know when she will be shipped. So my next figure haul video in January, how soon that video will come will depend on how quickly this figure will be shipped by the seller. I hope as soon as possible, right? I'm excited for this one. Moving on to the next 1x4 scale Nikke, Cinderella. I've already pre-ordered this very early, within the first few days pre-order opened. And this has been delayed twice already, from November to December and December to March, if I remembered correctly. Or was she originally meant to be released in December? Yeah, I think December, right? So delayed to March, and will she delay even further? I have no idea, but I am waiting for this very patiently. Moving on to the next 1x4 scale, I have already pre-ordered this, and I pre-ordered mine on OzGK instead of a Japanese website because it is way cheaper. This Rapi over here, this is possibly my most anticipated figure of the entire year, 2026, right? My favorite figure this year. And if you want to pre-order a Nikke figure or any licensed PVC figure on OzGK instead of anywhere else, make sure to pre-order it early because the way OzGK is working nowadays, they are following some Japanese websites like Solaris Japan or in the past Nippon Yasan. I'm not sure if you have heard of this website. They have gone bust during COVID, I think. But back then, Nippon Yasan, they would offer figures at very good prices if you pre-ordered early. Way cheaper than Ami, HLJ and anywhere else. But the catch is that if you do not pre-order it early and the figure becomes high demand after release, they will increase the price way beyond MSRP. It is like they are following market value, right? So if a native or edgy figure, which is 30,000 yen, becomes 60,000 yen a month after release, then the store will price it at 60,000 yen, something like that. So OzGK is also going for this kind of business model, maybe because they want to encourage people to pre-order early. I pre-ordered this for the equivalent of less than 50,000 yen. Is it like 45, 47k instead of the official Japanese MSRP price of 55 and 57,000 yen? Way cheaper. So you need to pre-order it early, right? I love this one so much. It has everything, diorama-based, action pose, big guns, and a pretty girl. Next up, 1x4 scale, masked, right? So this one, 1x4 scale, did I pre-order it? I have not pulled the trigger yet. I'm still trying to make a decision and hopefully I don't delay for too long. If I don't pick up one, yes, I'm going to pre-order it on OzGK instead. So I have just discussed this more than a week ago. I won't go through in detail again, but grab one if you like her, right? Up next, 1x4 scale Scarlet Black Shadow from GNF Toys. Okay, this is 38,000 yen releasing in July. For this one over here, I am a bit on the fence, right? Like, if there is a reason to get this Scarlet figure is that despite being a 1x4 scale, she does not take up way too much space, you know. The footprint of the figure is quite small, even for 1x4 scale because there is no extreme pose, the exact opposite of Cinderella. But at the same time, Hobby Sakura has a really nice figure of Scarlet coming soon, not pre-order open yet, in the Japanese outfit. I think it was Yukata. And that one looked a lot nicer in terms of the pose and everything else. So I'm not sure. I'm so indecisive which one to get. At the same time, this one has a nice sword and the armor. You know, I love female characters in armor. So I'm having a hard time trying to decide whether to get this or not. I did not pre-order this one, but I will be keeping an eye on her after release, just in case I feel like getting it. So I'm not pre-ordering this one early. Moving on to the next one here. Okay, so this one is a re-release. This Scarlet released in around May or June last year. And then she quickly sold out and the value went up. So I really regretted it. But surprisingly, within 2 months after her release, Good Smile pre-order opened her again for a re-release this January, this month. In fact, she is coming out on the 8th of January to be precise. So I need to pay up for this one very soon. Which means, yep, she will be a part of my January figure haul. Looking forward to unbox her. Moving on to the next one here. This Dorothy from Hobby Sakura was supposed to be released back in December last month. Got delayed to this month in January with no release date yet. So I pre-ordered this one very early on. Waiting for her release and she won't make it into my January figure haul simply because we don't know when she's coming out. Is it tomorrow? Is it the end of the month? Nobody knows. So she will probably end up in my February figure haul, assuming that she does not get delayed any further. And to me, this is probably the best Dorothy figure out there. Not including 1x4 skills. I'm referring to 1x6 or 1x7. And the reason is simple. That small Doro figure down there. The icing on the cake, right? So I do regard this to be the better Doro figure, even when compared to the Max Factory one that is currently on pre-order. Really looking forward to this one. Moving on to the next one. Okay, Modernia by Good Smile Company. Releasing in March, 24,000 yen. So this one, I pre-ordered it, yes. I don't have many figure pre-orders this year. Is it around 6 to 8 figures at most? And more than half of them are Nikke stuff. So this is also my kind of thing. Pretty girl, science fiction, mecha stuff and a big gun. So I had to have this, right? It is all about the character design. Moving on to the next one, another Modernia. This is Second Affection by Good Smile Company as well. Good Smile Arts Shanghai, releasing in September. And I can't really remember if I pre-ordered this one. I think I did, but I can't remember. So this one reminds me of Azur Lane characters for some reason, Pretty girl with a ship part behind, and there is also a little bit of science fiction-ish theme going on. So naturally, my cup of tea, I need to get this one. If I did not pre-order it, then I need to keep an eye on her after release. I need to double check my Hobbylink Japan account. I think I did pre-order though. Hopefully I did. Right, moving on to the next one here. Okay, this one I did not pre-order. I was hesitating. I mean, pre-ordering early equals to debt, right? In general, I tend to be very conservative with my pre-orders, right? Especially when a lot of figures nowadays, they bargain bin after release. So yeah, each time you hit the pre-order button, it is a bit of a risk over there. And my brains are like 24/7 supercomputer doing calculations, risk assessment. How safe is it to pre-order this early? But sometimes emotions take over. I want it so much, I like it so much that I'm willing to pay full price. And then after I get the figure, a month, 2 months later, regrets it a little bit when I watch the value fall, right? Just like Max Factory's volume. Yeah, so this one I did not pre-order, but this is among my most wanted Nikke figures that I did not pre-order. So this one, I'll be keeping an eye on her and snatch one as soon as she gets released. The date is September. Yeah, August to September is a really bad period, which is probably why I did not pre-order it. Moving on to the next one here. This is also a must-have in my opinion. 34 and 36,000 yen for the one with Raw Scroll. Hobby Sakura Little Mermaid, releasing in November. This is a figure that I might regret not pre-ordering, right? So that Red Hood 1x4 scale figure I mentioned earlier, her price is already going up all over Taobao. When I placed my pre-order at full price last month, I paid the MSRP price, and just a week later, every seller are jacking up her price by a small amount. And over in OzGK, Red Hood is now over 60,000 yen equivalent. So that is the price to pay if you don't pre-order it early. And I feel like I should pre-order it like right now. I need to go and check Bilibili store or something. If she is still available for pre-order, I better put down a pre-order for this. So I foresee the same thing happening to this Little Mermaid figure. Just like Rapi. No, just like Red Hood, I mean, right? The value might go up shortly after release. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one here. This is also very high on my want list. Hobby Sakura Elec. I just covered this one last week. Price is really good, 24 to 26,000 yen depending on the version. And Hobby Sakura is making quite a name for themselves, right? With Nikke stuff. So this one is highly recommended. Pre-order it early. I really should do the same. Releasing in November as well. God, everything's in the same month. Okay, moving on to the next one. Oh, this is Good Smile Company version. Just now I said the Hobby Sakura version of Dorothy is better than the Max Factory version. Actually, I was referring to this one. This is the Good Smile Arts Shanghai version. Okay, I confused myself. Though Max Factory is making a Doro figure as well. This one, I remembered a third party making a figure of her. And then we watched Good Smile Company come up with their own version, the same exact version, within weeks later. So it was funny. This one is not very high on my want list yet. Do I want this figure? Kind of yes, but at the same time, priority isn't as high, so I won't be pre-ordering this one anytime soon. I'll wait until after release and see what the value is like. Next, Nikke figure here, this Red Hood, right? By Good Smile Arts Shanghai. This is very cheap. Yup, 18,000 yen roughly. So this Red Hood figure over here, I find her to be very attractive, and since I already have already have the 1x4 scale Red Hood with the huge rifle, then I don't think there is a need to get the flare version at 37,000 yen just for the rifle. I have the 1.4, right? So if I were to get a smaller figure of Red Hood, 1x7 scale, this is most likely the one I'm going to get. But I did not pre-order it. I feel like I can afford to wait until after release. Next one over here, okay, this Cinderella, basically a 1x7 scale version of the 1x4 by Hobby Sakura, and since I already pre-ordered the 1x4 scale, this one does not feel that high of a priority to me. Did not pre-order it in the end, and I watched the value of my volume plummet, man. So another 30,000 yen Max Factory figure. I don't feel like pre-ordering it too early, just in case I score a deal later on if she does bin a bit. 23,000 yen even, then I will pull the trigger. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next Nikke figure here, Maiden by Good Smile Company. This is 25,000 yen December release. So this one I did not pre-order, even though I like it a lot, because to me it feels very expensive. Even though she is pretty detailed, if I would compare her to some other Good Smile Company figures around the same price, this is like not as... I'm not sure if sophistication is the correct word, but you look at Good Smiles, for example, their FGO or Fate Stay Night figures, the Saber Face figures that cost around 23 to 25,000 yen, 1x7 scale, but they are huge, comes in big boxes. Yeah, this figure over here does not feel like it is at the same level as those figures. Or even Good Smile Company's Mihono Bourbon from Uma Musume, that one got a re-release as well. Yeah, this Nikke figure over here feels like it is a notch below those figures, yet the pricing is the same. So I decided not to pre-order it and observe her until after release, right? Moving on to the next one, another masked figure 1x7 scale by Medicos Entertainment. I find this like captain uniform thing, right? It is like a Navy captain uniform. I find it to be attractive. I find it to be unique. I don't have any figures with this kind of theme yet. But Medicos Entertainment. So she only remains in my wish list for now, because Medicos is not exactly that consistent in QC with paint work. They messed up Karma, man, and I wanted Karma so badly. Though that figure is also a bit of a gacha. If you're lucky, you might get a good copy. And for that reason alone, I really feel like gambling on that Karma. Maybe I'll buy her in the coming months regardless. Could be my first Medicos Entertainment figure review. Next up, okay, this Nikke Soda by Alter. Currently, I did not bother to pre-order it. In terms of how much I want it, it is like at the bottom or near the bottom, especially after watching Kotobukiya's version of her going on pre-order. Oh, I should have opened the Kotobukiya version. See, I forgot to open a tab of her. So, where is the Kotobukiya version? Is it this one? Let me have a look. Yes, this is the Kotobukiya one. Okay, so I'm not sure how Kotobukiya is going to price this figure. Is it 40,000 yen? Is it more? Is it less? I don't know how to predict, because this is like Kotobukiya's very first 1x4 scale and she is not pre-order open yet. I don't know when she's coming out either. And having seen Kotobukiya coming up with a 1x4 scale of her, yeah, the Alter version is starting to pale in comparison. So I can afford to wait until after release or even after she bargain bins. And if she does not bin, I don't think I will bother picking up this one. So priority is very low, but she is still in my wish list. Moving on to the next Nikke figure. Okay, Noah and Blanc as a set from Alter. This one right here. For now, I am not pre-ordering it, and I don't plan to purchase it right after release either, unless the price gets discounted ever so slightly. I'm not asking for much. If she gets a 20% off, I'm buying it, right? So there were complaints about the face on Blanc, especially not looking like her that much, but I spent quite a bit of time staring at the pictures of these two figures over here, and I think their faces look fine. At least that is what I think. So this one is 38,000 yen or roughly 19,000 yen each. Since it is a pair, I think the price is not bad, but I am a cheapskate, right? Next up over here, okay, Moist Rabbit from Amakuni. This one is also very low on my priority, and the only reason why I may want one is because she looks very wet. I mean, who doesn't like a wet bunny, right? Right? So, Amakuni also has a must in swimsuit. I did not open a tab over here, and that one is also very low in priorities. If I can get a discount, why not? If not, I'll skip it, right? So there are way too many Nikke figures, that's the problem. Within the past 6 months, so many of them, I need to be more selective with what I get. Next one over here, okay, this Gozena by Apex, I did not pre-order it once again. And the main reason for that is that I have never seen an Apex Toys figure becoming very rare and expensive. At least in China, that almost never happened before. Yes, I've seen Genshin figures becoming expensive over in Army, right? The ones by Apex Toys, but in China, in Taobao, that is not the case. So I can afford to wait. It is just a very sexy figure and not much else. So priority is a bit low, but I do want one because she's kinda hot. Next up over here, this Noise over here by Nikke. This is made by Cosmos Sora, Chinese brand. 27,000 yen, there we go. August release again, which is why I did not pre-order, because August to September is very heavy, right? So this one, I kind of want it because she is pairing up very nicely with my volume, right? Which also comes with a microphone set, and the outfit design is also very similar, but the problem over here is that the scale is mismatching. Volume is 1/7, this is 1/6 scale, and I was kinda annoyed by that. Unless this figure turns out to be slightly undersized for a 1/6 scale, then that might be a good thing. For the first time, a figure that is smaller than the advertised scale might be a positive thing, because I need her to match up with volume. Otherwise, yeah, it is a bit... how do I even put this, man? The height is 28 centimeters, and that is including the stool and the base, right? So I'm cautiously optimistic that this figure might be slightly undersized, because that stool and the base alone, that is adding at least 5 or 6 centimeters, if not more. And it does not feel like it is a very big figure, even at an advertised 1/6 scale when she's sitting like that. Yeah, very hard to imagine. So for now, I am not pre-ordering this one and observing. Yeah, she remains in my wish list. Are we done with Nikke? Come on. Yes, we are done. Okay, so 2026 is a pretty good year for FGO. This one was supposed to come out in December 2025, got delayed by 5 months. This Beast Sodom, I call it Lolly Nero, right? Because she looks like Nero. She's now May release, May 2026, coming from Medicos Entertainment. And this is another Medicos figure where, regardless of how the paint quality turns out, I would still get it. As long it is not the train wreck kind of bad, that we see in Inside B-Fold figures. As long it is not that level of bad, I'm willing to get it regardless. So 22,000 yen only. Pretty good price, but no lolly character, must be a small figure. Next up over here, Beast First Ascension Ereshkigal by Aniplex and Claynel. 22,000 yen, releasing in November. So I did not pre-order this one. And the thing with FGO is that nowadays I don't really pre-order FGO stuff. Not just nowadays, has been the case for many years, right? I don't pre-order FGO stuff because their value rarely go up. They will remain the same, like MSRP price during pre-order, and after release within a few months, the price will remain the same. It does not go up, does not go down. If it does go down, normally it is the more niche characters that are less popular, which means not the Saber faces, not the Ereshkigal or Tosakarin faces. If you look at other FGO characters that are less popular, less mainstream, I would say, the Valkyrie Sisters by Aniplex exclusive, Helena Blavatsky, Custer, who else? There are quite a few, right? Those figures, they bargain bins like crazy, 40-50% off, because they are not popular. Only the select few hardcore fans will buy those figures, right? So Ereshkigal is not exactly a niche character. a lot of Tosakarin fans, right? I see her as Tosakarin, just like Ishtar. So the value is most likely to remain stable, and if she does get discounted, maybe 10-20% at most. So there's no reason to pre-order it early when I know that she will be widely in stock after release. And there's no benefit to pre-ordering it early when I can wait 2 or 3 months and still not pay extra. Yeah. Next up over here, Melusine, Lancer by Fat Company. This is, 36,000 yen. When I think about it, it's not that bad of a price considering what Flare asked for the Red Hood figure. I did not pre-order it, and the reason is simple. It is Fat Company, and Fat Company always screws up FGO stuff. For some reason, their Uma Musume figures are great, but their FGO stuff have QC issues, Katsushika Hokusai, and even Assassin, the one from Fate Apocrypha. Yeah, that Assassin by Fat is already bargain binning for the past 6 months or so, right? Can get her very cheaply in China. So maybe I'll get it within this year, hopefully. So as you can see, the same pattern, the same history is repeating, right? Katsushika Hokusai was over 30,000 yen, bargain binned down to 20k. I bought it when she was 20k. And now the same thing is repeating with Assassin, and I think the same thing would happen to Melusine. So I'm waiting for this one to bin, and I'm willing to wait for another year or so. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. I like this so much. I love my saber faces. Eltrea Caster Berserker class by Aniplex and Stronger. Releasing in March, and she was delayed from December actually. 32,000 yen. That was the price where stopped me from pre-ordering it too early, right? 32k for this is very expensive, but I feel like Aniplex priced her so high on purpose because they know people will buy it anyway. So I'm patiently waiting for this one and see how things turned out, I suppose. I'm not in a hurry to pre-order this. And speaking of saber faces, this one over here, Eltra Pendragon Saber, Barney version. The fact that she is serving up a typical male, you see, an overweight American eat is why I want her. Yes, that big stack of burger over there is the reason why I want this figure. Otherwise, this is just a plain bunny girl figure that I would normally skip. But that burger over there is so... I mean, it is so unique, right? So... Man, I don't even know what to say anymore. This is by Claynel. And going back to that figure earlier, before I forget, this Berserker Eltrea over here, it is made by Stronger. And when you see the brand Stronger being the manufacturer, it is mostly guaranteed to turn out excellent. So yeah, this is something you should look forward to. Claynel is also decent actually. I need to go back to buying some saber faces. I haven't bought one in the past year. Next up, I almost forgot about this figure even existing. Sei Shonagon Berserker class by Alter. So there are 2 Sei Shonagon scales at the moment. Another one is the Archer version by Fat Company, just doing the peace pose like this. And because of that, it is pretty plain and simple, but cost 27,000 yen. I was like, no thank you. Please bin by half price and then I'll consider. But the Alter version over here is so much more dynamic in pose, a lot more attractive, so maybe I will get it after release. I don't know yet, but my priority on this one is a bit low. Yeah, remains in my wish list though. Next up over here, Barghest Saber, or I call it Mama Saber, just because she looks like a male to me. This is 27,000 yen October release. For a huge figure like this, she's massive. If you have seen the prototype being displayed in some Japanese stores, this thing is massive. So 27k is actually a very good price, a very reasonable price. Just that I couldn't decide whether to pick up after release or to wait for the bin, which will take another year or so. But this one is high on my want list. This is beautiful, right? I'm getting the saber face stuff. Next up, Masquerade by E-Stream. Yep, Shibuya Scramble figure. So this is Masquerade 3 seconds before she gets evaporized by a big ass laser. I only have one Masquerade figure until today, despite being a big fan of FGO. And that is the oldest figure of her, the Aniplex one. I wanted the stronger one where she's doing kind of a catwalk with the shield. Beautiful figure, high quality, but the pose is kind of awkward to me. And then there is this, which is very relatable because this is something we saw in the movie. So maybe I will get this one. This is not too expensive, 36,000 yen I think, or 32. Okay, that's even better. 32,000 yen, we'll see, right? Extreme, I have their Lancer Altria, great figure, so this shouldn't be any different. Next up over here, okay, this Morgan Le Fay from Aniplex. This is 40k I think. 36k, yeah, including tax 40k on Army, right? This was an Army exclusive. So this Morgan over here, I'm leaning towards a no for once because there's the Good Smile version that is already released that I haven't picked up yet. And some people will prefer this over the Good Smile version because this is loyal to the official artwork, the original artwork. But the Good Smile version has a nicer pose, so I'm leaning towards that one. Not in a hurry to get it though, so this one will remain in my wish list for now. Next up over here, yeah, I know, too many figures in my wish list, which is why it is impossible for me to buy everything. This Azur Lane Owari, yeah, your wallet Owari da, right? This Owari over here, I did not pre-order it, and I'm not sure if I will buy it after release. Not sure yet. If the value goes up after release because she becomes rare and expensive, I don't think I will regret it too much. Because at the moment, even though this is a very desirable figure, I would be content with the Apex Toys version. Right? I can go out and buy one now or next month maybe, if I wanted to. So this one is more of a holy grail Azur Lane figure that I can afford to skip, but she remains in my wish list because she has so much potential as a photography subject. After all, I'm a figure photographer. Moving on to the next one here, this Cheshire Magic Hat. I always bring her up, right? Yeah, the one by Good Smile Arts Shanghai. Coming in August. This is possibly my favorite figure of Cheshire out of so many versions. Did not pre-order, and after release, it really depends. Depends how bad things are financially, because coming out in August. A lot of Nikke figures coming out during that period. Moving up next, we're now in Blue Archive section. So as you can see, I don't have many Azur Lane figures in my wish list, right? I'm trying to not get too deep into that Azur Lane hole. So with Blue Archive also, only 2 to 3 figures over here. The first one here is Riku Hachima Aru. Oh, there is another one. I think that one is already released, right? That girl, that lolly girl with a huge shield, riot shield and a shotgun. Did that come out last year in 2025 or is she coming out this year? God. How can I forget about that figure? Anyways, back to this Aru over here. This is my favorite Aru figure out of few versions out there simply because of, yes, the gun, the rifle, right? So I might regret not pre-ordering this. Yeah, because many of the more popular Blue Archive figures, they do go up in value. But I did not want to take too much risk with my budget planning. Granted, this is coming out in October. I should have pre-ordered this. My October is empty after all. Yeah. Moving on to the next figure here, we have 2 Asuma Toki figures, and I am so indecisive on which one to get if I were to buy a figure of her again. So I have reviewed the Max Factory Bunny Girl version earlier this year, and that figure was a bit of a mixed bag. Like, there is nothing quite wrong about her unless you are really annoyed by that hole on her right knee, which wasn't a problem to me. But in the end, I fell out of love with that figure simply because the pose and everything was way too plain, and I sold her. And then now we have 2 additional new Asuma Toki figures coming this year, which neither are perfect. This Ultra version, she is very customizable, or rather, I think we are getting 2 entire figures. I'm not too sure at this point. If we are getting 2 entire figures, then that is even better, but you know, once again, same problem as the Max Factory one. Very plain, boring looking pose. But, you know, she comes with more stuff, like there's a bit of a science fiction element, and she has, a suitcase, a gun, and so on. It feels like a Figma in some way. So that is a reason why I liked this figure, because of the weapons and the customization options. But the pose is dull. And then there is this one over here, also by Ultra, Memorial Lobby version. This is basically similar to the Max Factory one in outfit. more like the same exact outfit but different pose. But lying pose, right? Dakimakura pose as I call it, I'm not sure if I like that because they take up way too much space to display, right? That is my major gripe with every sleeping or lying figures in general. However, the pose and the paint job over here do seem to look a lot nicer than the Max Factory version. But between this one and the one earlier, I think I'm leaning towards this one if I were to get a figure of Asuma Toki again. Just that, yeah, this is an Ami exclusive, so I need to look for it elsewhere. I'm not buying this from Ami, no chance, because our customs departments in my country, they see the big Ami logo on the box, you are screwed. Alright, moving on to the next one, Honkai Star Rail, 2 figures in my wish list for 2026. Firefly 1x7 by Good Smile Company. This is like something every Honkai fan must have. I wouldn't call myself a big Honkai fan, but you know, I do like the character design, and Firefly is a very popular character. I'm sure they got a lot of pre-orders. Will she become grand expensive after release? There is a likelihood, but even if that does happen, you guys saw what happened to Scarlet from Nikke. Within a month or two, Good Smile pre-order opens it again. So Good Smile has a track record of doing stuff like that, so I can afford to wait, I guess. And this one's coming out in November or December if I remembered correctly. December, there you go. Still a long way to go. The next Honkai figure, the one I just spoke about earlier, Kafka from Apex, coming out this month, right? So I do intend to grab this Kafka, and maybe I can even make a comparison video with my Imagination Studio one. Yeah, the third party one. The colors on this, at least based on these official product pictures, the colors are a bit duller compared to the third party one. The third party one, the colors are so strong, so vibrant. But no, this is cheap, 21,000 yen. So I highly recommend this to anyone who wants a Kafka figure. Next up over here, HK416, Midnight Evangelion version from Girls Frontline. This is my only figure from Girls Frontline in my 2026 wishlist. Yeah, I'm not exactly a big fan of GFL, but you know, this one, science fiction stuff again. I gave her a really serious look, and then I decided to add her to my wishlist, but not pulling the trigger anytime soon. After all, Apex Toy stuff are easy to find, right? And then there is the boring pose, right? I complained about the Asuma Toki earlier. The same thing applies to this figure as well. Next up, this one was fairly recent, Arknights Lapland from Mietos. This thing is outstanding for around 23,000 yen, right? Military uniform, a long spear, and oh, in fact, I feel like I would prefer this over the Alter version, which I just nominated as one of the best of the year for 2025. I feel like I would prefer this one. Yeah, the Alter one is way too much, right? If I were a big fan of Arknights, like I like Arknights even more than FGO and Nikke, then I would get the Alter one. But for me, as a filthy casual, I think this is more than enough to me. This is beautiful. Next up, Arknights again, Texas, right? This is also by Mietos, releasing in February. Oh, releasing in January in China, February for everyone else. This is another beautiful Arknights figure. So Blue Archive figures, 3 of them in my wish list, Azur Lane 3 of them, and now Arknights 3 of them as well, including this Texas. The third Arknights figure that I really like is this one over here by Good Smile Arts Shanghai. Amiya, this is 25,000 yen, releasing in February. God, I think the first 2 or 3 months of this year is also very painful, very heavy. Now this figure is self-explanatory, very unique. You have Amiya lying inside a casket. Not really. This is more like a violin case, right? Okay. The whole setup of this figure is so unique that I feel like this is something I should consider. Just that there is also the possibility of her delaying. I don't think I can buy this in February, even if she comes out on time. I have more Nikke stuff to pick up, and also FGO. Right, next up in my wish list. So, I will drop another video next week about anime figures in 2026 in general, and that title of that video for now would be my anime figure predictions for year 2026. And this is a bit of a spoiler over here. To me, Diablos Core and Brown Dust 2 will gain more traction in 2026. That is my prediction. One of them at least. But I will save the details for that video later on, right? Not to spoil it too much. So this Diablos Core Zeus over here by Elixir Dream. I like it so much. Just the right amount of fan service. The blush on the face is amazing. The only problem is that this brand, Elixir Dream, is a bit shady. They did release figures that came with QC complaints. More like inaccuracy compared to what you saw in the official product pictures. What was being released looked a little bit different and people are complaining about it. I did not mention it in my worst figure of the year video. More like anime figure fails of 2025 because I wasn't aware of that actually. Might have overlooked it by accident because it is very difficult to keep track of literally every figure every year. But this one over here, my decision was to add it to my wish list and then observe it until after release and see how things goes. If she turns out perfect, then I will start hunting for it. So I'm playing it a bit safe over here. Next up, Brown Dust 2, Morpia. So there were two figures by Hobby Sakura that went on pre-order recently, Morpia and Therese, I think. Not Teresa, Therese, right? So I don't care about that Therese that much. The character design is just kinda meat. But this Morpia over here, this bunny girl, I mean, it is... I'm not sure what it is, but she appeals to me so much. I like the character design on this. And look at those soft, squishy thighs over there. I kind of want one. So I did not pre-order it. Have not done so yet so far. We'll see, right? So this one is high on my want list when it comes to Brown Dust 2 figures releasing in October. Next up over here, Wuthering Waves. I think there are two figures. The first one here is by Chrometheus, Chang Li. So this one is 18,600 yen releasing in September. Still a long way to go. And I mean, we don't have any genuine Chang Li figures yet. At least at the time of publishing this video, but I do foresee either Apex or Mietos making a figure of her as well. And do we have a low budget figure of her by Mietos Gift Plus? No, right? If the answer is no, then add her into the list of Mietos Gift Plus figures coming this year. That is my prediction. The next one over here. Oh, there's only one Wuwa figure. I thought there was two. The next one is Snowbreak Containment Zone Katia Klein by Good Smile. So this is only 15k. So plain swimsuit figure. I did not see a need to pre-order it early, just that I like the character design so much and I'm thinking of getting into Snowbreak Containment Zone a bit as well. Getting 2 or 3 of the figures that I really like, just like Wuwa and some upcoming Chinese games in general. Just that I haven't touched Zenless Zone 0 yet. None of the figures in my wish list for 2026. Next one over here, I know there are so many figures in my wish list. Too many in fact. So it is not specifically this figure, right? It can be any other versions of her. This is more about Sophia F. Shering being in my wish list for 2026. I'm not sure which version of a figure I'm going to get, but I'm hoping that sometime within this year in 2026, I buy at least one premium scale figure of her, not including low budget Chinese figures, right? I know you guys did mention that the Koi Koi version of her, low budget plain bikini version figure, but there's something special about her and you got me really curious. I might review that one at some point, but not including that one. I'm hoping that I buy a premium scale figure of Sophia F. Shering in 2026. I do think she is like the modern version of Super Sonico in a way. And this one is among the best looking Sophia figures, but I'm biased. I like sci-fi, so this one has all of the sci-fi vibes. And the last figure in my wish list. And moving on to the last figure in my wish list for 2026. Okay, this is not specific to this figure over here, or the character Akiyama Rinko for the matter. This is more like me wanting to buy a figure from Taimanin series in 2026. Can be Taimanin Yokikaze, can be Taimanin RPG or RPGX. I want a Taimanin figure in 2026. Just that, how do I even review it on YouTube, right? Maybe it is for personal enjoyment, or I make a video anyway and upload it to my X, to my Twitter, because you can upload that kind of stuff over there. Yeah. So I guess that the thing that is very attractive about the time mining character designs is that it is a mix of martial arts or combat with edgy or H elements. So like this version over here, I picked this Winko as an example because this is one of a few examples of a time mining figure which I really like. You have pretty girl with sword or gun once again, and then in a tight bodysuit, and then you get fan service on top of that. So this is like one of the better, one of my favorite time mining figures over the past year or so, though there are other close competitors. So that is all for my anime figure wish list for 2026. Yes, I'm going to call it anime figure even though they are game figures. So what is your most anticipated anime figure that you have pre-ordered? Let me know down in the comments below. And until then, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, subscribe to this channel for more anime figure content every week. And until then, I'll see you soon. Goodbye.